Welcome to the Coffee and Questions podcast. I am your host, Mikel, and my mission with this podcast is simple: to help realtors and loan officers across the world tap into the value Instagram can have for them and their business. To me, organic business that comes to us is the name of the game. On this show, you're going to hear from myself, other experts across social media, and also others that are just like you, selling real estate and doing loans and doing it at a high level on social media.
Backing that up, I make myself very accessible. I make myself accessible at the times that I am available, to do those calls. My schedule's not wide open, but I have certain days and certain times that I am open for people to pick my brain. So literally, if you go to my YouTube channel, if you go to Facebook, if you go to Instagram, any of my social media profiles, you can literally click a button and get on my calendar to pick my brain. So every one of those conversations starts the same exact way. I say the same thing, which is, thanks so much for booking the call. So tell me a little bit about where you are in your real estate career and journey, and ultimately what you are looking to get from this call. Same thing every single time, because I want to know a little bit about them and where they are. But more importantly, I want to know why the hell they're calling me, like what they are looking to get out of the call. I don't start it off with me trying to pitch them on something. I want to know, what they have. And sometimes people will, pretty immediately say, well, I've been watching you and I've been following you on social media. So what I'm looking to get out of this call is just, more information about EXP. And I never even let it stop there. I dig a little bit further and I say, why? Why did you choose to have this conversation with me? And why are you looking, at changing brokerages? Because again, my job is to get to the bottom of what their problems are and then show them how I can actually solve that problem. Because when you do that, you're not having to close people, they close themselves. Because what's the rule? If there isn't a problem, then there isn't a sale. And so on these quote unquote sales calls, I just make sure to really highlight problems. And then I focus on the solutions to those problems. And then they close themselves and the sales follow. So that's always the flow of my calls.
I think there's so much there. And I think people need to, if you're not following Chauncey on Instagram or any social media platform, irregardless, please go do so. But one of the things I would say about that is, from taking the time myself even to go down the rabbit hole of your account, I don't ever even feel like you're pushing EXP down my throat, right? Which is something that a lot of people have a very hard time with, if we're being very transparent, right? I know probably thousands of agents, honestly, who are so deterred by EXP because of the way that people go about kind of talking about it. Not that they don't believe that it's a great brokerage or that it's a great model or that they can make a ton of money doing it, or that their rev share would be great, or that they love the stock options, right? All of the things. It's that they don't like the way that it's pitched to them. And I think that what you just said is the solution to a lot of problems. If you are trying to use social media to generate a downline for EXP, there are ways to do it that do not involve, let me word vomit about EXP in every single story I post, every single post I put up. And let's just talk about being in business and the problems that a normal business owner faces. And hello, if somebody likes the way that you solved that problem for John Doe down the road, they're going to call you,
Correct. 100%. And that's always been my philosophy. So, the phone calls are never, ever, ever about, the end game of getting them on my team. It's really more about finding the rock in their shoe and then uncovering whatever solution it is. And then if they like that, then they come back for more. And so, you saying that a lot of people do the whole word vomit, EXP, and do the pitch on everything. And I totally agree. And so something I always say is, which I heard this somewhere, I think on Clubhouse one night, and someone was talking about potato chip marketing. And so it's just a coin that they termed, saying, how ridiculous would it be if you saw someone at the park and they're yelling, "Hey, squirrels, come over here. I've got lots of snacks." Like, you would literally think that they were a crazy person if they were yelling at the squirrels what they had and expecting the squirrels to come. Versus if that same person went with a bag of potato chips and they left crumbs, then eventually the squirrels would know that they were the source of what they wanted and they were the source of those crumbs. And eventually the squirrels would simply come. And that just really resonated with me. And it stuck with kind of, how I present opportunities to people. I will never yell at them them what I think that they should know. And I will never yell at them what the benefits of what I'm trying to sell them, is. What I'm instead going to do is I'm going to drop crumbs of value, and eventually they will understand that I'm the source, and they will either come or they won't.
So let's dive into this, because most people, that know me know I'm the creator of a course called the Instagram Power Method. I teach people how to build and generate an organic following on Instagram that leads to leads coming to them, right? That's the whole premise of what I do and how I do it. Everything with the rooting being in psychology, which you and I also resonated heavily on. And what I want people to hear from you, because I know you do a great job at this, but I think it's important for other people to see it in action. If you can, just give us 3 examples. It doesn't even have to be 3. If you can come up with 3, great, of different types of content you could produce to leave the breadcrumbs, or leave, the potato chip crumbs, if you will, of how you can lead somebody to wanting to have that conversation with you.
So it's simple. I use the same 4 types of attraction-based posts, right? Which are simply going to be, number 1, what questions do my target clients or my target market, the target consumer, what questions do they have? What are they Googling? And I'm going to put out answers to those questions. What frustrations and problems do they have is number 2. So whatever my target client, a frustration that they have. So as a new agent, I can't get any attention from my broker, or I don't know where to start, or, how do I choose the right brokerage? Or once I get a lead, what do I do with it? Or what questions do I ask when I get a lead? So frustrations that they may have, then I'm going to put out content that is the solution to that problem or frustration. And then the last 2 are storytelling, because storytelling obviously works very well, especially with video, with content online. And the 2 types of storytelling that I use is nightmares and fairy tales. And so I'm either going to tell a story that is a nightmare because someone did not come and work with me or use me for real estate services or what have you, or I'm going to tell a fairy tale of someone that did, and a success story that is proven. Those are the 4 that if you just stick with that, that your content period is going to attract people, because you're answering questions, you're solving problems, and then you're giving social proof by way of your stories of the reason why people should work with you, and what happens if they don't.
Well, and I think, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I have a feeling you'll agree with me on this one. If you are part of EXP and you're trying to build your downline, the way to do that is not by blasting all of the benefits of EXP in your stories every single day. And I think that's a huge part of this, because the reality is, whether it's EXP or not, guys, that, Chauncey obviously works with EXP, but that it's irrelevant, right? It could be KW, it could be Berkshire, it could be anywhere, right? If you're trying to build your brokerage or generate new agents that want to come work for you or with you, throwing numbers at the general public that's consuming your content means nothing to them, right? It literally does not resonate with them as the consumer. And so I literally am so aligned with this entire conversation, or from your 4 pillars as part of this conversation. But one of those things being solving pain points or solving problems and addressing pain points. So let's talk about some of them, right? As a new agent, let's not even say new agent, as somebody who is really frustrated with their splits, right? They don't like the splits that they have at their current brokerage. They want to come to, or they want to potentially go to EXP with you, right? How would you storytell in a piece of content to make somebody realize that that wouldn't be their problem with you, without saying, hey, if your problem is you don't like your splits, you should come to EXP?
I focus a lot of my content on mindset. So for me, I would do probably a storytelling on how, if you are a good business owner and you have your mindset in the right place as a business owner, then you are less worried about things like commission splits, and, expenses, that way. And you're more concerned with resources and ways to make more money. And, whether or not your brokerage has resources and tools for you to make more money. Because ultimately, the split doesn't matter if your mindset is in the wrong place and you're not thinking like a business owner. It doesn't matter whether it's a 80-20 split or a 70-30 split or a 50-50 split. If you're not selling anything, it doesn't really matter. And so understanding and having the mindset of understanding your bottom line, your return on your investment, I would probably go down a road of talking about that to make people say, like, maybe it's not that I hate my split. Maybe I am just thinking about this all wrong. And you know what? I can book a call with Chauncey and like, you know, have a quick little chat with her, because then I would leave that call to action in there is, hey, if you want to chat a little bit more about, you know, adjusting your mindset in business to where you don't even have to worry about commission splits anymore, then like book a call with me below the link. And so I take things totally away typically from what the perceived problem is, because what I figured out is most of the time what people perceive as their problem is not the real problem. Like your commission split's not your problem. Is the fact you're thinking still like an employee and you're penny pinching every dollar that you're getting on your paycheck instead of figuring out how can the environment that I'm in actually level me up to make so much money that I don't even care about the split.
Yeah.
And
if you enjoyed this episode, please go follow my guests on social media. And if you enjoyed this podcast, please consider leaving us a review wherever you consume this content.